Welcome back to our channel, friends. I'm deeply grateful that you've chosen to spend this moment with us. Whether you're navigating a personal struggle, searching for peace in the chaos of relationships, or simply seeking insight into how fate can be shifted, today's story is one you cannot miss. It's a story of heartbreak, surrender, resilience, and ultimate transformation. It begins with a prophecy: you will be divorced by 20 rate, and ends with a miracle. The question we explore today is this: is divorce truly predestined? And if so, how can a person defy what seems to be written in the stars? Let me take you into the life of a woman who, from all outer appearances, was doomed to marital collapse. She wasn't someone who lacked love, beauty, or commitment. In fact, she poured herself into her marriage. But from the beginning, things weren't right. Her husband was emotionally unavailable, her in-laws were cold, and her home, a place that should have felt safe, was filled with tension, criticism, and loneliness. In desperation, she sought answers. She visited not one, not two, but 4 different fortune tellers, and they all said the same thing: your fate is sealed. You will be divorced by the age of 20 date. For some said it casually, some said it with sympathy, but the verdict was the same. Now imagine receiving that message not once, but 4 times. What would you do? Would you fight harder? Give up sooner? Live in dread? She did none of those. She did something no one expected. She began to cultivate her inner world. She didn't argue with fate. She didn't scream at the sky. She turned inward. At first, it seemed passive, but in truth, it was the most powerful act of agency she could have taken. She began to read ancient texts, not for academic interest, but for survival. She explored teachings like the standards for being a good student and child, Taishchenganingpian, and Buddhist scriptures. She didn't read them for superstition or ritual. She read them to understand herself. She began each morning not with a phone, but with a mantra: Namo Amitabha Buddha. That phrase became her shield. She used it to soften her reactions, to absorb the sting of cruel words, to stay present when her heart wanted to flee. She made a choice. She would not change her husband. She would not fight her in-laws. She would change herself, not out of weakness, but out of strength. Day by day, she practiced humility, kindness, patience, and silence. When her husband ignored her, she didn't retaliate. She blessed him silently. When her mother-in-law criticized her, she didn't defend herself. She listened, smiled, and later cried in private, but never let bitterness enter her heart. One evening, her husband, usually aloof, noticed she had made his favorite dish. He didn't say thank you, but he paused. Something had shifted, not just in the food but in her energy. Her anger was gone, her resentment had melted. He felt peace in her presence, even if he didn't understand it yet. Days turned into months. Slowly, the home that was once filled with tension began to breathe. Her husband began to soften. Her in-laws started helping with the baby. No dramatic apology, oh grand transformation. But a slow, consistent opening. By the time she turned 20 date, the age of predicted divorce, she was still married. But more importantly, she was deeply empowered. Not because her husband changed, but because she had. When she shared her story later, she said, "I realized I was the one holding the pen. The fortune tellers may have written a draft, but I rewrote the ending." What was her secret? It wasn't magic. It wasn't denial. It was cultivation. She understood the law of cause and effect. She believed that her situation was not random, it was the result of past karma. But instead of complaining about it, she decided to complete that karma through loving endurance. She said, "Maybe I owed these people from a past life. I will repay it with peace, not more pain." Now let's pause here. Does this mean you should endure all suffering in silence? No, This isn't about suppression or becoming a doormat. It's about discerning whether your suffering is purification or oppression. In her case, she wasn't being abused. She was being challenged, and she chose to meet that challenge, not with retaliation, but with spiritual fire. Her transformation didn't stop with her marriage. Once her family became stable, she turned outward. She began to hold women's circles, share scriptures, and guide others. She became a beacon not because she spoke loudly, but because her life radiated truth. She helped women who were ready to walk away from their marriages, but first helped them see if the root of the pain was within. She helped women overwhelmed by motherhood, by in-laws, by betrayal. She didn't tell them to endure everything. She taught them how to transform from within, and then choose from a place of strength. Her guiding mantra was simple. It's not about him, it's about me. When I change, everything changes. Now ask yourself, what are you going through? Are you in a difficult relationship? Do you feel trapped by fate? Then hear this. Destiny is not a cage, it's a mirror. It reflects your past karma, but it is reshaped by your present choices. You are never powerless. You can always shift something, even if it's just your own attitude. Start small. Wake up each day and chant a mantra, even just once. Read one line of wisdom. Forgive one person. Let go of one grudge. Choose love one more time. You are not bound by stars, charts, or predictions. You are bound only by your own inner limitations, and those can be broken. This woman was told she would end her marriage. Instead, she began a new one with herself, with the sacred, with truth. And that's the lesson. Your real partner in life is your own mind. Make peace with it, and all other relationships begin to heal. Have you ever defied a prediction? Have you ever rewritten your story when it seemed too late? We'd love to hear it. Leave a comment, share your experience, and let's build a community of those who know that transformation begins within. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss our next story. Thank you so much for watching this video. May your destiny be not what is given, but what you choose to create. See you in the next one.